gosh golly, I sure am having trouble with this math homework. So I'm going to summon a famous African-American mathematician that I Googled using this ritual that I also Googled. Omnis Satanica Potasis Onus and Circosio. You're in South Carolina.
But no, I'm in Maryland. That's where I was. What are those mysterious metal horses? Two of them that aren't running, just sitting there.
It's a car.
What's a car? Is it a synonym for a mysterious metal horse that isn't alive? And what are those mysterious shoes you're wearing that have black and white on them?
I need help with my math homework.
Okay, I guess so. Oh, what a marvelous hammock this is. You know, such splendid things. You must be very, very rich to own such a thing.
Okay, anyways, so, according to my research, Benjamin Banneker was a mostly self-educated mathematician, astronomy compiler of almanacs, inventor, and writer. And also, it says that you're supposed to be African-American.
But I am African-American. Oh, must just be the lighting.
So, Mr. Banneker, I've summoned you here today because I need help with my mathematical homework. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've accomplished?
Okay. Well, I was born on November 9th, in the year 1731, on Ellicott's Mills in Maryland. My mother was half white because her mother was a white woman and her father was an ex-slave, and my father bought his way to freedom. My grandmother taught me how to read and write at a young age, and I spent several years at a Quaker school before I was taken out to work on my plantations.
Yeah, so I don't really care about your personal life. I just wanted help with my math.
Well, I was actually very self-educated, you know? I, in fact, when I was 22, built a wooden clock after only seeing a pocket watch once when I borrowed it from someone. It was actually a great accomplishment, and people flocked from all over just to see it, mainly because of my race, and they didn't think that my race could do anything smart. But I proved them wrong. I was also able to teach myself astronomy, and I could actually accurately predict lunar and solar eclipses. It took me a long time, but it just proves how smart anyone can be if they just put their mind to it. And you know, I was called a lot of names in my day, but some of them were actually compliments. People would call me a risk taker because I would take all sorts of new risks and try new things. And my mommy used to call me principled. She'd say that I always acted honestly and justly, and I always did, especially when fighting for the rights of my race, my kind. And, people called me a thinker because I was able to approach complex problems and make reasoned decisions regarding them.
I mean, that stuff's great and all, but about my math...
And I was actually so known by them that George Ellicott, a rich industrious and fellow mathematician and astronomer, allowed me to borrow some books in both of those fields.
Well, why didn't you just buy your own books?
Well, I was too poor to afford my own books, and since I spent all my life working in the fields, I never got a lot of money. I actually was able to buy my first book in my early 30s. It was a holy Bible. I also published almanacs for 6 consecutive years, 1792 to 1797, that included pieces such as astronomical calculations, opinion pieces, literature, and medical and title information. The other thing I published was information on bumblebees, and I spent my free time calculating the cycle of the 17-year locust.
So you liked bugs?
Yes, indeed. In fact, when I was a little kid, I used to spend all my time counting as many caterpillars as I could find on my plantation. Protesting against slavery, I decided to write a letter to Thomas Jefferson, criticizing him for his absurd and false ideas and attacking his pro-slavery stance. Eventually, he wrote me back, and I published both of the letters in one of my almanacs. This grabbed the attention of abolitionists in Maryland and Pennsylvania, and I gained their support. They rallied on one of my quotes.
Ooh, I know! The color of the skin is in no way connected with strength of the mind, of intellectual power.
How did you know that?
I looked it up on my iPod.
What is this pod of I you speak of?
This was all very interesting, but I didn't hear any numbers.
Well, not all math is limited to simple quadratic calculus equations. My branch of math was actually called astronomy, and I'm famous for making accurate calculations regarding the sun and the moon.
Yeah, so can you just help me with my homework?
Well, I guess, if you listen to my entire life story, I kind of owe you one problem.
What's 2 plus 2?
2 plus 2? That's simple, young boy. It's 5. I'm just kidding, it's 4. Because 2 plus 2 equals 4.